Afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
Let's see, it's a little before 2. We'll give everyone a minute to get on.
Okay. I hope I look well rested today.
Yes, yes, you do.
But I'm feeling about the same.
Good afternoon, courtroom 2. I hope you all are well today.
Good afternoon, Judge. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Who are we going to start with today?
We're going to start with position. I'm sorry. Okay, position 3. I'm trying to do all of Ms. Gant's cases. Yeah. Okay, position number 3, Mr. Benton.
Okay, and this is your case, Ms. Gant?
Yes, it is. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. I hope you're well. Ms. Tortorello, are you presenting for Mr. Benton?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Benton.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Benton, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003923E with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Mr. Howard, is pretrial on yet? I don't see pretrial on yet. We'll give them a moment to get on. Ms. Tortorello?
Yes, Your Honor. For the simple battery family violence, we're asking for a $3,500 good bond. The conditions is that the defendant have no contact with the victim, Timisha Jackson, and that's spelled Timesha, and the last name is Jackson. For the defendant to stay away from 1324 Oakland Drive Southwest in Atlanta. That he take a 1-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. I can briefly go over the criminal background, Your Honor, if you would like.
Why don't you go through the facts first, Ms. Tortorello, and then if pretrial is not on, I'll ask you for the history, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. So on June 20th, 2022, the Atlanta Police Department was dispatched to 1324 Oakland Drive Southwest in Atlanta in reference to a disturbance. Upon arrival, officers learned that the victim, Timisha Jackson, and the defendant, Eliza Benton, lived together for 2 months in a course of a 1-year relationship. Officers further learned that Ms. Jackson was attempting to leave the residence when the defendant took her cell phone from her and prevented her from leaving. The defendant then struck Ms. Jackson about the head and hands. The officer observed that Ms. Jackson was in obvious distress and fearful of leaving the defendant's residence under the intimidation of the defendant. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia.
And what history do you have, Ms. Tortorello?
Your Honor,
here we go. Good afternoon, Mr. Howard. We're on position number 3, Mr. Benton. Would you mind giving me his history, please?
Yeah, my bad. I got stuck on the elevator. 54 total. We got open suspended license, on probation for theft by receiving, suspended license. 19 SC 171260. You got FTAs and a bunch of probation violations in this history. I got a battery family violence out of DeKalb County. It was a conviction. It was reduced to battery.
What year was that?
2012. 2014 FTA entering auto, 2015 failure to appear. I got the felony theft by receiving conviction, 2017. He got more FTAs and more probation violations. 2019 theft by receiving auto, 2020 probation violation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Tortorella, you asked for a $3,500 good bond on a simple battery. What's your request for the criminal trespass?
Your Honor, for the criminal trespass, I apologize, it would be a $2,000 surety bond, so that would be a total of $5,500 good bond.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Elijah Benton is 47 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has 11 children. He also has family in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Therefore, he has significant community ties. Your Honor, Mr. Benton completed high school. He is self-employed at Elite Lawn Service, Elite and Keto Lawn Service. However, he informs me that the business is not profitable at this time and that he just paid his rent. Therefore, his funds are limited. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Benton informs me that this is his residence, and he also informs me that the complaining witness, Ms. Tamisha Jackson, does not have any belongings there. He wants to continue having contact with Ms. Jackson. However, I was unable to reach out to her. Therefore, we will defer to the court's ruling regarding the no contact order. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Benton's behalf. However, if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for the court for a total bond of $2,000, and that would be $1,000 for each count. And again, we are will defer to the court's ruling for the no contact orders, and we are opposed to the stay away. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, we did hear, I apologize, we did hear from the victim. The victim advised us that she used to be in a relationship which lasted about 8 months with a defendant. The victim stated that they are friends now. She also said that the defendant on the day of the incident suddenly started to call her out, basically call her names, and then assaulted her the first time before they got to his home. The victim stated he drove her to his home, but was still acting out, so she asked to be taken back home. The victim stated the defendant blocked the door so she would not be able to leave. The victim stated the defendant then hit her in the face again, which caused a busted lip. The victim stated the defendant had been violent with her throughout their relationship. Your Honor, we are going to stick to the no contact. However, the stay away is not appropriate as it is the defendant's home. And the victim is on the Zoom call, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Jackson, if you're not required to speak, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you would like to address the court, you'll have to activate your camera and unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in. But again, you're not required to. Okay, as such, for the simple battery, it's going to be a $1,500 good bond. For the criminal trespass, a $500 good bond, making it a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Tamisha Jackson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Benton.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
We do have a private
We're going
attorney
to courtroom
case.
number 3. We're going to go to position number 18, Asia Robinson.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Robinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Robinson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003903H with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Good afternoon, Ms. Duncan.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident occurred. Make this bigger. One moment. This incident occurred on June 19th, 2022 at 1374 Murphy Avenue, all common spelling. In this case, Your Honor, officers responded to the victim, in this case, Ms. Patsy Robinson. according to the facts in this incident, the defendant was asked to leave the location and got angry, but came indoors aggressive with those inside the home. Ms. Robinson recorded the defendant in this case with a phone because she was making her angry and she wanted to have documentation of the incident. The defendant in this case snatched the phone out of Ms. Robinson's hand and began to attack her. The results of this attack are scratches on her hand, and the defendant stated to officers that she could not move her fingers on her right hand after the attack. The state in this case has a concern that this victim is a danger to the community. Our victim advocate did get a chance to speak with this victim, and she has some image concerns about her daughter in this case. And she says that she called 911 and she wanted her to get the help that she needs. She did not want to pursue charges. However, we are concerned in this case about the fact that she stated to officers that her fingers were hurt and that she did have visible scratches at the time of the incident, Your Honor. Given the facts and circumstances surrounding this incident, we are requesting a $3,500 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, weapons, a stay away from the incident location of 1374 Murphy Avenue in Atlanta, no further contact with Patsy Robinson, MHET, and no further violations of Georgia law.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Robinson is 32 years old, and grandma and mother and Miss Robinson, 3 generations, are living together in the same place. They are renting the house together. She has been here in Georgia all her life. She has no children. She's not married. However, her entire family members, like parents and siblings, are all here in Georgia. She's not a flight risk. She does not have a job at this point. She graduated from high school, and because of that, because of her unemployment, she has no funds to pay for any kind of bond at this point. And yet this is her first arrest ever. And we would like to request for signature on bond. And I believe that she doesn't need any kind of MHET, or if possible, since they all live together, we would like to request for non-violence contact so that she can go back home. That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
If I
Ms.
may,
Patsy?
Your Honor.
Go ahead, Ms. Duncan.
Oh, Miss Robinson might be about to say the same thing that I'm going to say, so I would let her speak first.
Good afternoon, Ms. Patsy Robinson. If you would like to address the court, you'll have to unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in.
Okay.
All right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
You can put your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Just that Asia is my beautiful daughter. She is very articulate, bright, but she's dealing with an illness. And when I called 911, I was calling to get assistance, get help. When only the officer came and not an ambulance, I asked him several times, were they going to send her to the hospital? Were they going to get an ambulance there? And I even wrote on my statement that the reason why I called 911 was to get her some assistance. She's on medication, or she's supposed to be on medication, and is much better when she takes her medicine.
Please have her statement restricted to whether she's afraid of her and whether she wants to have a contact continuously.
Your Honor,
I am not afraid of her. That's my daughter.
The state believes that all her statements should be on record as they relate to the other factors in the case.
Okay. Everybody knows that I will hear anyone who wants to tell the court something. I'll hear them out and make that judgment on my own. So although I appreciate what counsel is saying, Ms. Robinson, would you continue for me, please?
Yes, I just wanted to say that Asia does not need to be in a jail at all. I love her very much, and she needs actual help. And that's what I told the officer. I showed him paperwork regarding that. And so that's what I want to say now. No, I'm not afraid of my daughter. I love her. I just want her to be better. And she is better when she takes the right medication.
And you want her to come back into your household?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I would love for her to agree that she's going to get the help that she needs. She may be in a position right now where she doesn't agree, but it's not because she really has full understanding that she is out of character. Her character is very meek, humble, and not violent on a regular basis without this illness that is new to our family.
All right, anything further, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to recommend a behavioral health evaluation first before we decide to do any further evaluation, Your Honor. I apologize for that.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Please.
Okay,
Thank you,
it's
Your
going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. She is to have no further violent contact with Patsy Robinson. She is to stay on any prescribed medication and have a behavioral health evaluation. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, except for those that are prescribed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anything
Thank you, Your
further?
Honor.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a little, as they said, this is her first time ever being arrested. I'm a little concerned about her safety. So what does that mean in regard to being checked out?
Let's see, Ms. Robinson, this is a bond hearing, so there's very little that I can do in that regard. Your daughter is presumed innocent and remains innocent unless and until the state proves beyond a reasonable doubt that she's guilty of the violation that she's been charged with. What I'm trying to help to do today is to make sure as a part of this bond that she stays on any prescribed medication and that we have someone speak with her regarding this.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, both Ms. Robinson. Mr. Schnippet, which case is yours? I don't really have very much control over where we go as the jail pretty much regulates, but I'm happy to, if you tell me who your client is to see
Yes, sir. Stephen Connor. It's warrant number EW 0364858. Stephen Elliott Connor.
Courtroom 2, do we have Mr. Connor in your courtroom?
He's sitting right in front of the screen, Judge.
Okay, very good. What position is that?
Position 7.
7.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Connor. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, and yes.
Thank you. Mr. Connor, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003928F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is 8th arrest. He was arrested June 2021. He was arrested at the airport for having a weapon. 2020 simple battery dismissed. 2017 battery DV dismissed. 2017 trespass dismissed. 2010 suspended license arrest and a DUI. 2009. A couple of DUIs from 2009. Hold on. I got a 2020 arrest in Florida for battery, touch, or strike DV. It was non-pros. And an 05 out of Alabama for obstruction. That's it.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the battery family violence, the state's asking for a $4,500 good bond. The conditions is that he have no contact with the victim, Monica Carmody. The last name is spelled C-A-R-M as in Mary, O-D-Y. for the defendant to stay away from 202 Kenneth Drive in Alpharetta, that he take a one-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, and no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on May 17th, 2022, the Alpharetta Police Department responded to a call at 202 Kenneth Drive in Alpharetta in relation to a domestic violence. Upon arrival, victim Monica Carmody said her boyfriend, defendant Stephen Connor, had been arguing with her. The defendant proceeded to shove and strike Ms. Carmody, causing 2 bruises on her right arm and 1 bruise on her left arm. The defendant and Ms. Carmody do live together. The officer determined the defendant was the primary aggressor, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, as you heard from pretrial, he is a multi-state offender. He has 1 cycle out of Florida, 1 cycle out of Alabama, 8 cycles out of Georgia. He's had prior arrests related to domestic violence, 2 recent out of Georgia, 1 in 2017 and 1 in 2020, and the other in Florida in 2020 out of Walton County. And for this reason, Your Honor, he does pose a risk of reoffending while out on bond. And we are asking for that good bond, Your Honor.
Schreiber?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Your Honor, my client, Mr. Connor's 35. He is not a flight risk. He's lived in Georgia from the majority of his life, graduated high school here in Milton High 05, is a college graduate, is a consultant for a company called Alpha Advisors. He has 4 children, Your Honor. They're all young, ranging from 5 years old, 3 years old, I think 1.5 and 2 months old. It is noted, Your Honor, and let me just step back. Monica Carmody, the accuser victim, is on this call. I have spoken with her exhaustively. She has reached out to me many times. She is respectfully asking for a no violent contact order and for the defendant to be able to come back home at 202 Kenneth Drive, Alpharetta, 3009. One of their children, the daughter, has severe health matters, severe skin condition that unfortunately involves 24-hour care, chronic asthma. She is adamant, was wanting these charges dropped. She understands and respects the system and going through the process, judicial process. And I'd be happy to have the court hear her. She's actually under the name Max Connor, her son. She couldn't figure out how to switch it back to her name, but she is on this Zoom hearing, Your Honor. And before that, the state mentioned about his criminal history. I think that the gentleman, when he read it out, I don't think Mr. Connor has any convictions. I think all those were dismissed. I think in the open matter he has now is he didn't realize there was a firearm in his bag. It was inintentful. That's open in Clayton County, obviously, but he has no convictions. So I would like to have that noted to the court. I would ask for an unsecured judicial release bond or signature bond. If Your Honor's not willing to do that, I'd ask for a $2,000 good bond total. But most importantly, would ask again that there be a no violent contact order and he'd be able to go back home. And I'd be happy to have Ms. Carmody speak to the court.
Okay. Ms. Carmody, if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and I need to swear you in. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
We have young children. I actually have my newborn right here with me. She's only 2 months. What happened the other night was a misunderstanding. I need Stephen to be able to have communication and contact with me and our children. I desperately need help raising our children. As noted, our 3-year-old daughter has severe health problems, and with a 2-month-old baby, it's nearly impossible for me to do it myself. My mother works full-time. I've lived in Big Canoe. I don't have family nearby. I'm not fearful of Stephen. I do not believe that anything like that would happen again. We're both in therapy. We're actively in counseling separately and together so that we can just co-parent peacefully. I just had a session yesterday. I have scheduled future sessions for Stephen individually and both of us together. And I am begging the court to please have a no violent contact because I need him to help with our children.
Has this type of situation happened before, ma'am?
It has, and I think that it is directly related to some mental health issues I struggle with, and that come about shortly postpartum, which I am addressing, and I hold myself responsible for.
Okay. And the 2020 allegations of battery, domestic violence, was that involving you?
Yes, that was actually during a possible anaphylactic. My daughter, who's 3 now, has severe food allergies. She's been hospitalized with Syrian EpiPen everywhere we go. That was during an incident where I thought she was going into anaphylaxis while we were on a boat, and Stephen was simply trying to hold me still because I was freaking out. So that was a complete misunderstanding, and that also had to do with medical circumstances. And I'm working on my mental health actively.
All right, anything further, ma'am?
No.
Anything further from counsel?
No, Your Honor, just again, respectfully asking to that Ms. Carmody's request be adhered to by the court. Thank you.
And Your Honor, if the state can ask the victim a question. How are you, ma'am?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good. Just have a question for you. Did you suffer injuries that day?
No.
So there was no bruising on your person, on your arms?
Not from Stephen.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Not from Stephen. I do believe I have some bruises on my arm.
Okay.
They were from Stephen.
All right. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. If nothing further, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class that Mr. Connor remains in therapy, that Ms. Carmody says that they are presently in, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and no further violent contact with Monica Carmody. Anything further?
No, sir.
And yes, this is per the judge as far as the pretrial goes. All right, if not, good luck to you all.
Thank you, sir. Might be excused.
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
In courtroom 3, Your Honor, we got position number 5, Ms. Ty Kamen.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Kamen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003925J with theft of service. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This 8th arrest. Last was in February at Georgia State. Possession of drug-related objects. Trespass conviction. December 2021, theft of services. That's open. It's 21 CR 007933J. She's on probation for possession of drug-related objects, public drunk criminal trespass. 2018 shoplifting conviction, 2018 FTA for shoplifting, another 2018 FTA for shoplifting. Got a 2018 shoplifting conviction out of the cab, 2014, same thing. That's it.
All right, Ms. Parrella.
Yes, Your Honor. For the, I believe this was Ty Common, theft of services, it's $2,000. We're asking for a $2,000 good bond. The conditions is that she stay away from the incident location at 52 Peach Street Southwest in Atlanta, and that's the Anatolia Cafe and Hookah Lounge. That she take a theft class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, as you've heard from pretrial, she does have that open theft of services case. The offense date was December 23rd, 2021. The accusation was filed on December 24th, 2021, and she was granted a $3,000 unsecured judicial release through pretrial on December 24th, 2021, and was released on said date. She was rearrested on a subsequent criminal trespass case where she pled to time served, to a time served offer on February 9th, 2022. Her bond on her previous theft of services case was surrendered by pretrial and now is a $3,000 surety bond. She is currently in violation of this bond due to this current subsequent case, Your Honor. So she does pose a risk of reoffending and committing offenses while out on bond. On June 20th, 2022, the Atlanta Police Department responded to a theft call at Anatolia Cafe and Hookah Lounge, 5052 Peachtree Street, Southwest in Atlanta. Upon arrival, officers learned that defendant Ty Kamen did, with deception and with the intent to avoid payment, knowingly obtained services, which is available only for compensation, by eating, drinking, and smoking $123.10 worth of products. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. She has 7 cycles, Your Honor, previous theft convictions, and several FTAs on her record. Most recent, I believe, is 2018. A couple out of DeKalb County. And for this reason, Your Honor, we're asking for the $2,000 good bond. Nothing further.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Ty Kamen is 36 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 15 years. She is the primary caretaker of 3 minor children, ages 14, 5, and 2. She completed 12th grade and she just obtained employment at Walmart. This is her 2nd week. She is due back today. Your Honor, she does not have the means to pay anything toward bond. If she remains in jail, she definitely is at risk of losing that job to support her children. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Ms. Kamen denies the allegations. She is presumed innocent in that open case in 2021 as well. I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. Kamen's behalf simply because she just does not have the means to pay bond and the nature of the allegation. I am opposed to the theft class as well. I do not believe she has the means to pay for that theft class, Your Honor. So in summary, we're unopposed to the stay away, and I am requesting a signature bond. And if Your Honor determines that she is ineligible, then I would ask for the bond to be left as it is set at $1,000. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $500 good bond, stay away from 52 Peachtree Street, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Cannon.
Right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome. Who do we have next?
Position 10, Mr. Green.
Good afternoon, Mr. Green. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, again, good afternoon, Mr. Green. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003931E with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
43 total. Last arrest was November, probation violation out of Coweta County for burglary. 2019 FTA shoplifting. He got a lot of theft and burglaries in his history. He's on probation for burglary. 2018 probation violation, 2018 FTA cocaine, 2019 theft by taking conviction. Got another burglary conviction. Yeah, that's 2019. Probation violation 2019 for theft.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for a $2,000 good bond. The conditions is that he stay away from the incident location, which is Citgo at 2000 Delow Drive, Southwest in Atlanta. That he take a theft class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 20th, 2022, the Atlanta Police Department responded to Citgo at 2000 DeLoe Drive Southwest in Atlanta in reference to a theft. Officers learned that defendant Gregory Green committed theft by shoplifting when he took a case of Bush Eye Spear, the property of Citgo, with the intent to deprive Citgo of the property and not paying for the items by passing all points of sale without paying for such. The defendant was arrested, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, you've heard from pretrial, this defendant has 43 cycles, so he does pose the risk of reoffending while out on bond. He is currently on probation and may be violated due to this offense, Your Honor. And he has several FTAs on his record and several thefts and burglaries as well, Your Honor, on his record. So for that reason, we are asking for a $2,000 good bond. Nothing further.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Gregory Green is 64 years old. He has spent in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 54 years. He does have family in the Atlanta, Georgia area, including children, none of which are minors. We are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Green completed high school. He also has a college degree. He majored in history. Mr. Green has been disabled for the past 30 years. Therefore, he certainly is of limited means and does not have the ability to pay much, if anything, toward bond. Your Honor, we are denying the allegations, and I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Green's behalf. We are opposed to the theft class, as I do not believe he will have the means to pay for that, and we are unopposed to the no drugs, alcohol, weapons. I'm on the impression that he has a hold from Coweta County, so I'm asking for a signature bond so that he may be released to that hold. And if Your Honor is not inclined to grant a signature bond, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000. Thank you.
It's going to be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Citgo at 2000 DeLoe Drive. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Green.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna go to position number 8. Ms. Angela Durham, position number 8.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Durham. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Durham, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003929G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The second arrest. Last arrest was in 1982.
Okay. Ms. Duncan?
Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at 126 Summerwood Drive. The victim in this case is Charles Stevens. Common spelling, Stevens is STPHENS, who is the boyfriend of the defendant in this case, Your Honor. The warrant indicates that the defendant in this case did in fact admit to striking Mr. Stevens in the face, and the warrant indicates that this strike to the face did cause a nosebleed to Mr. Stevens. Our victim advocate was able to make contact in this case, Your Honor, and our victim advocate did speak to Mr. Stevens about the incident. He did in fact agree that a strike did occur that caused visible bleeding on his face. However, there was a difference in where he was hit in the face on this incident. Given the we're concerned about a risk of reoffense, that they do live together. The victim did tell us they've been living together for 9 years. We're concerned about intimidation of this witness, given the fact that they also live together. Due to the violent nature, Your Honor, there was a visible bloody injury. We're going to request a $3,000 surety bond, no further violent contact with the defendant in this case, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law.
Okay. Hold on, Ms. Durham. I see you've got your hand up there. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'll give you an opportunity to talk with your counsel if you need to after her presentation, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. McLeod, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client is 58 years old. She is a native of Atlanta, Your Honor. She tells me she has been disabled for some time. The alleged victim is someone she has been in a relationship with for over 12 years, and they have not had any incidents like that together. They got into an argument, and it became a pushy shovey, and that's essentially what she was, simply defending herself. But she does tell me that she's not afraid of him or anything. You know, she is very remorseful that this incident happened. This is her home, Your Honor. She tells me that they do not, in fact, live together. It is her home, and she lives there, but he does visit a lot. Based on her age, Your Honor, her history, and what is alleged to have happened, I think she is a suitable candidate for a signature bond, Your Honor, and also given the fact that she is disabled.
If nothing further, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Mr. Stevens, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Your Honor. Position 9, Mr. Gordon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gordon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
What?
We're doing this by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes?
Some just thumbs up. They can't hear you.
Okay. Mr. Gordon, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003930F for simple battery and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. See your history, Mr. Howard?
24 total between Georgia and Alabama. I'll give you the Alabama history first. 2014, 3 counts of failure to appear, FTA robbery, assault, second degree, and something about an auto. Another 2014 FTA, 2013 robbery, 2011 drug trafficking, last arrest in Georgia, 2020 FTA for DUI, possession of a controlled substance. You got given false name conviction, suspended license NOLO from 2019. Given false name financial transaction card convictions from 2013 out of Athens, Clark County. They got more financial transaction stuff. Forgery. I got a simple assault. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's dismissed. That's it.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the simple battery, the state's asking for a $3,000 good bond. For obstruction, the state's asking for a $2,000 good bond. That'll be a total of $5,000 bond. Conditions is no contact with the victim. Her name is Robin McDaniel. The first name is spelled R-O-B as in boy, Y-N. And the last name is McDaniel, traditional spelling. To stay away from Lenox Mall, specifically the Nike store at 3393 Peachtree Road, Northeast in Atlanta. That he take a one-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 20th, 2022, an officer, Jay White of the Atlanta Police Department, responded to the Nike store at Lenox Mall at 3393 Peachtree Road, Northeast in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the victim, Robin McDaniel, an employee at the store, advised to the officer that the defendant, Kyle Gordon, became irate when she advised the defendant to place the items on the counter. The defendant then shoved the clothing that he wanted to purchase along with the money at Miss McDaniel's face. Miss McDaniel said she pushed the defendant's hand away from her face, and then the defendant struck her with a closed fist. Several patrons and employees began to restrain the defendant. The officer ordered for the defendant to place his hands behind his back, and the defendant pushed the officer away and ignored the officer's lawful commands. The defendant was eventually arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, I believe the victim is on the Zoom call, on the Zoom court. We were able to reach her. She states that she works at Lenox Mall, the Nike store, She does not know the defendant. She stated that he did shove her, the clothing and money in her face and then punched her, causing a headache and swelling. She did not seek medical attention. The victim wants no contact and for this defendant to stay away from Lenox Mall. As you've heard also from pretrial, Your Honor, he has 24 cycles, so he does pose a risk of reoffending while out on bond, and he poses a flight risk as he does have FTAs on his record, and he has violent offenses, Your Honor, including robbery and assault. And for that reason, Your Honor, we do feel $5,000 good bond is more than reasonable for this case. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Camp.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Cal Gordon is 39 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area since age 9. He has family in the Atlanta, Georgia area, including uncles and cousins. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away from Lenox Mall, as there are many retailers there. We would ask that Your Honor limit the stay away just from the Nike store, as my client is presumed innocent and he denies the allegations. Mr. Gordon completed high school. He also has 2 years of college in business management. He is currently a club promoter and an independent contractor with POS. He has been in that position for 2 years. His monies are basically commissions based. Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Gordon's behalf. However, if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask the court for a reduction in the bond amounts. I would ask for for the simple battery, $2,000, and for the obstruction, law enforcement officers no more than $500. Again, that stay away just from the Nike store. And he informs me also that for some of the FTAs, he was incarcerated, Your Honor. Nothing further. Thank you.
Let's see, Ms. McDaniel, I see you there. If you would like to address the court, I'm happy to hear what you have to say. I'll have to swear you in. You're not required to.
I would like to address.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Ms. McDaniel. What would you like to tell the court?
I know that Ms. Grant said that he should get his bond reduced since he threw $300 in my face. I don't think he deserves to have his bond reduced, as well as he did state that he would come back and kill my coworker for defending me. And as he kept continually attacking, as before the officer got there, my coworkers were restraining him. So he continuously got up to come and attack me. So with that being said, I don't want him anywhere in Lenox Mall, as I do have to walk around the food court and go to other stores. And I will continue to work at that mall until further notice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything further from counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right, it's for the simple batter, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. For the obstruction, a $500 good bond. That's a total of a $2,500 good bond. No further contact with Robin McDaniel, and stay away from Lenox Mall at Peachtree on Peachtree Road. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. McDaniel, and you also, Mr. Gordon.
Your Honor, this is Sub Annex.
No, Mr. Please remain silent, Mr. Gordon. Please remain silent. We don't want you to say anything to jeopardize your case.
I got jumped.
Please remain silent. We've denied the allegations, sir.
Okay, so courtroom 2, I believe that we have completed Mr. Gordon. Where are we going next?
Sub Annex, Your Honor. This is the Sub Annex. I have position number 6. I have to get her out of here right now, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not 6 either. That's good.
Is this who we reset from yesterday? Who's representing Ms. Cantrell?
Which one?
Who's representing Ms. Cantrell?
No earthly idea,
It
sir.
would be me, Your Honor.
That
J.
one.
Kim. I apologize. I'm trying to get into screen. Yes, Your Honor.
Is there something that we need to address, Ms. Kim?
Is this
This is number 6, Ms. Cantrell.
from my perspective? No, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Cantrell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah, we might as well go ahead and get it done. I'm ready for the
Okay.
button.
Thank you, Ms. Cantrell. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003926G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Got 8 total. Hold on. 2020 simple domestic assault trespass out of Tennessee. Those are convictions. 2019 FTA. I got an assault. 2016 out of Tennessee. I got an ag assault. That was a conviction. 2017. And she got one prior out of Louisiana. 2011 prohibited acts. Schedule 3. That's it. Oh, she's resident of Louisiana, Houma, Louisiana.
Okay. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $1,000 good bond for the defendant to stay away from the incident location, which is the Greyhound Atlanta bus stop at 232 4th Side Street in Atlanta. For her to take a no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. On June 20th, 2022, Officer L. Marshall of the Atlanta Police Department responded to the Greyhound Atlanta bus station at 232 4th Side Street in Atlanta in reference to a trespass. Upon arrival, the officer met with a security guard who advised that earlier that day, the defendant, Krista Cantrell, had a criminal trespass by another officer. This case number is 22-171-0789. Security officer advised that the defendant was back on the property in the smoker's cage. The defendant was arrested, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, if it weren't for her extensive history, the state wouldn't oppose to a unsecured judicial release. However, she has 1 cycle out of Louisiana, 6 cycles in Tennessee, 1 cycle out of Georgia. She has violent convictions. Most recent one was a 2020 simple assault out of Tennessee, and even an aggravated assault out of Tennessee back in 2017. She violated her probation on 2017 out of Wayne County, Tennessee. It was revoked. She also has an FTA back in 2019 out of Tennessee. So she does pose a flight risk and a risk of reoffending, Your Honor, while she's out on bond. So for that reason, a $1,000 good bond is reasonable. Nothing further.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Cantrell is 44 years old and she does reside in Louisiana. And she was at the Greyhound in Georgia just as a temporary stop. She was supposed to ride back on and go to Louisiana. And yet, I guess there was a little bit of a misunderstanding. And now she is trespassing Greyhound bound bus station. She has 2 children, 13 and 14 years old. So she's got to go back to Louisiana, her home to take care of it. She does not have any other family members nor any other job at this point. She completed high school, and we would like to request for signature on bond and ride a bus with a ticket to go back to Louisiana from Georgia, Your Honor. And other than that, she can stay away after that ride from here to Louisiana. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Greyhound bus station on Forsyth Street. She can go to another bus station, but not to the Forsyth Street station. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, her luggage is in that 234 Forsyth station. Can she then go to that location to get her luggage?
She can go there on one occasion with the escort of law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good luck, Ms. Cantrell.
Next,
All
we have position 4, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003922Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The second, 2018 marijuana possession.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the simple battery of family violence, the state's asking for a $3,500 surety bond. Though we won't oppose to a unsecured judicial release, given the defendant's very light history and no violent convictions. Conditions: no violent contact with the victim, and that's Miss Andrea Lovelock, his mother. That he take a one-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, just for the facts, on June 20th, 2022, Corporal Q. Williams of the South Fulton Police Department responded to 4924 Estonian Drive in Fairburn. For the record, that's spelled ESTO, N as in Nancy, N as Nancy, IA, N as in Nancy Drive, in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, the officer met with victim Andrea Lovelock, who advised her son, defendant Justin Brown, was going through an episode. Ms. Lovelock said the defendant spit twice at her face. The defendant admitted to the officer that he did spit at Ms. Lovelock. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, the facts also state that the mother is concerned that her son has some MH issues. So for all those reasons, Your Honor, we're asking for a surety bond, but we want to post to an unsecured judicial release. Nothing further.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Lovelock, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. He is to stay on any prescribed medication that he is currently on. Is that fine with you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You too.
Your
What
Honor,
was that contact?
No further violent contact.
Your
Ms.
Honor.
Gant, did you have something?
Yes, this concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, good to see you. I'll see you again next time.
Thank you.
Mr. Griggs? Griggs? She went to the restroom, okay. Position 15, Moultrie.
And Your Honor, just to give you a heads up, Griggs, he has a co-defendant, Miss Ashford, so I don't know if we can listen to them both at once, since they're the same facts.
Okay, we're on Moultrie right now, though, right?
Yes, Your Honor, I was just saying.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Torello. Good afternoon, Mr. Moultrie. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Mr. Moultrie, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003937H with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. I'm sorry, this is 5th adult arrest. Last arrest was May 2021. Simple battery and robbery. It's open out of the cab. 2016, he was arrested for inmate having prohibited item. That was a conviction. 2015 misdemeanor marijuana possession. Got an obstruction conviction from 2011. The first 2 cycles were juvie, so. And he does have a hold too. Out of Conyers. That's it.
All right. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, just to add to what the pretrial was saying, that holdout of Conyers is in fact for a failure to appear. There is a $1,500 preset bond in this case, Your Honor. This incident did occur yesterday at 193 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard, and the victim in this case is Akintunde Mounds. That is spelled AKINTUNDE. Monds is MONDS. Your Honor, in this case, officers responded to a residential burglary call at this address, and they were met with the victim in this case, and he stated that he had left his home on June the 12th to go on vacation, and when he returned, he found that his back patio door and his house had been busted in, and that there were 2 homeless men inside sleeping. He then asked them to leave and they both left, which one of those was the defendant. Further, this victim did look on his camera and he saw that some things were taken, but the facts do not indicate that the defendant in this case was one of the persons who took the items that the victim in this case said were missing. Given this defendant's history, we are concerned about a risk of reoffense in this case, Your Honor. He does have open robbery charges. Given the nature of this criminal trespass, we have a concern for risk of reoffense, as well as flight risk, because he is currently wanted for that hold for failure to appear out of Conyers. Given that, the state is going to request that this bond remain as set at $1,500. That we ask that the court grant a stay away from the incident location, that this defendant have no further contact with the victim in this case, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Moultrie, I will represent you and then I'll call you if you have any more questions. Mr. Moultrie is 30 years old, Your Honor, and he has 2 children and they're both minors. He has been getting a really odd jobs like cutting grasses, commercials, and he does a commercial yards. And he has been here in Georgia for the last 17 years. And he completed up to 10th grade. And right now he is residentially challenged. So he has been challenged about 5 years. So there's no way that he's gonna be able to make any financial contributions to the bond. We would like to request for a signature on bond so he can go to the Conyers, Georgia, to take care of other issues that he has, and then he can return to take care of other children. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the 193 Joseph E. Lowry address. No further contact with Mr. Mons. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Moultrie, I'm going to give you the opportunity to go and take care of whatever you have to take care in Conyers. But just know that if you miss your next court date with this court, they're going to put out a bench warrant on you. You understand?
Yes, sir, but I also want to say for the record that.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Moultrie.
Please
You
do
have a
not say
right.
anything
You have a
you-
right to remain
me.
silent. Anything you say can be used against you. So you'll be able to have your opportunity at a later time to speak on your own behalf if you choose to. But I've given you a signature bond now, so you'll be able to come back and handle these charges. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day, Mr. Moultrie. What do we have next?
Position 21, Whiter. Is it Whitter or Whiter?
Whiter.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wider. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, do. Good evening.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 22 CR 003941F with simple battery, family violence, and terroristic threats. Is your history, Mr. Howard?
His 8th arrest. Last was 2020 in DeKalb County. Terroristic threats, felony, simple assault, family violence, 2 counts. 1 count felony obstruction. That's open. 2018 DUI, it was reduced. He has history out of state, out of North Carolina and South Carolina. I'm gonna give you the North Carolina first. Last arrest there was 2008, intoxicated and disruptive. Got a 02 assault on a female conviction. One from the 90s. Last arrest in South Carolina, 2014, assault and battery 2nd degree. It says non-conviction. That's it.
Ms. Duncan?
Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at 201 Aaron Street. That's ARRAN Street. The victim in this case is Erin Wider, ERINWIDER, who is the daughter of the defendant in this case, Your Honor. Officers responded to a dispatch call at this location, and when they arrived at this location, Your Honor, they were met with Miss Erin Wider, and she advised that her and her father had gotten into a verbal altercation that had turned somewhat physical when he pushed her hand out of the way during the argument. She also stated to officers that he made a threat to shoot her dog. That threat was witnessed by a Mr. Justin Jackson and a Norma Wider. Our victim advocate did get the chance to speak to the victim in this case. And she did state that her father has been living with her for about 6 months and that she believes he has a drinking and drug problem. She stated that he has had these episodes before, but this is the first time that he tried to hit her and threaten the types of things that he is threatening, including to kill her. She stated that she does not want this behavior around her children because there are children in the home. And she stated that she is afraid of this defendant and wants no contact and a stay away from her home. Given the violent nature of this offense and the relationship between the two parties, we are concerned about the risk of reoffending in this case, as well as the risk to intimidate this witness, being that he is her father. Given those facts and circumstances, the state is going to request a $4,000 total surety bond. That's $2,000 surety per charge. We're going to ask for no further contact with Aaron Wider, a one-time escort for the defendant to retrieve his belongings, one-day anger awareness, no alcohol, my apologies. We're going to request an ADET based on our victim statements, but if Your Honor is not inclined, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wider is 66 years old, and he is residing with his daughter right now. And he has been here in Georgia ever since 2016. And he has, of course, his daughter and his parents and siblings here in Georgia. He has retired from 2020. So currently he does not have any employment nor income. So he would like to request, actually he is in the process of getting disability, and he has exam scheduled for PTSD tomorrow at 10:45 a.m. and he does not want to miss that appointment. He graduated from high school. He went to 1 year of college. And also he served in the Army for 5 years, from 1976 to 1981. He was in the Army. And we would like to request for signature on bond if possible. If Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for the lowest possible surety bond of $250 for each, total of $500 surety bond, Your Honor. Thank you. And he will be homeless because there's no other place for him to go to. So we are actually recommending for social worker services and BHET, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $500 good bond per charge, which makes it a $1,000 good bond total. Stay away from the 201 Aaron Street. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No further contact with Aaron Wider. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and a social worker visit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Wider.
Position 13, Moran.
Good afternoon, Ms. Moran. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Moran, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003934Y with simple assault. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. Last was 2017 FTA out of Sandy Springs, so it could be traffic. Before that was 2016 Roswell, possession of marijuana. That's it.
Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on May 30th, 2021 at 1212 Executive Drive in Alpharetta at the Point at Pearson Ridge Apartments. In this case, Your Honor, there is a preset bond of $5,000 surety. In this instance, officers responded to the victim, in this case, Angelina Cook, that's Angelina, Angelina, Cook, common spelling, who stated to officers that she got into a verbal altercation with the defendant in this case after he called her an effing cunt. And according to the defendant, my apologies, according to the victim in this case, during the course of the argument, he became even more upset, and he threw, because he said that she threw a bag of waste on the ground in the common area near where they live. It stated that he went into the house and got a metal object, what was described as an axe key. Your Honor, I did in fact just receive verification that an axe key is what looks like a giant key, but it is a large metal object. He wielded with sharp edges that resemble a key. So it's like an axe, but it's shaped in the form of a key with ridges, but it's really big. I just got a picture from our investigator of the axe, and it states that he went into his unit and got this axe key and wielded it at Miss Cook. She said that she ran and was fearful for her life, and in an attempt to run, he wielded that axe key and hit it towards her foot on the ground. We're concerned in this case about intimidation of this witness because they do live in the same complex, as well as the potential for a flight risk because he does have that FTA from 2017, given the nature of the offenses alleged and the types of instruments used and the threats that the victim in this case feel. We requested that bond remain the same. We'd ask for no further contact with this victim, 1-day anger awareness, and no further violations of Georgia law. At this time, the state is not seeking a stay away because, as the record reflects, they both live in the complex but not together. They are just neighbors. So we just request that he stay away from her and the bond remains set at $5,000 due to the nature of the offenses alleged. Nothing further from the state.
All right, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Cook, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you,
Good luck.
Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Moran.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Position 11, Greg. Your bond was to pretrial, right? Yeah. Oh, have a seat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Griggs. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Griggs, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003932G with battery. Your history, Mr. Howard?
His ninth arrest. Last was 2017, possession of a firearm or a knife during the commission, failure to appear, sale of marijuana. The FTA was NOD. I'm not sure about the other charges. 2015, marijuana possession. 2014, disorderly conduct, felony terroristic threats, simple battery. He got PTI for those. That was out of Superior Court. Before that was an 05 sale of marijuana NOD. And he had a simple battery from the 90s that was dismissed. That's it.
Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $4,000 surety bond for the battery. The conditions is that he have no contact with the victim. Her name is Tatiana Etchison, and the last name is spelled E-T as in Tom, C-H-I, S as in Sam, O-N as in Nancy. For the defendant to take a 1-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, we're not asking for a stay away from that location, which is for 545 Plainview Drive Southwest, because the victim does not live there. So just for him to have no contact. On June 20th, 2022, Officer A. Thompson of the Atlanta Police Department responded to 545 Plainville Drive Southwest in Atlanta due to a fight. The officer eventually met with co-defendant Kafil Ashford, who said co-defendant Brandon Ashford, her son, was laying in front of victim Tatiana Atkinson's vehicle. Mr. Ashford advised the defendant, Mr. Ashford advised his mother, the co-defendant, that Ms. Atkinson had hit him with the vehicle and she then attacked Ms. Atkinson. Officer then spoke to Ms. Atkinson, who said she came to pick up her 11-month-old son, initials B as in boy A, after leaving him with Mr. Ashford for Father's Day. Ms. Atkinson said that when she got there, Mr. Ashford wanted to argue with her and that he had a knife and was trying to puncture her vehicle's tires. Mr. Ashford then got her phone, saw something he did not like. So Mr. Ashford got the victim's phone. He saw something he did not like on the victim's phone and then threw it against her windshield, then tried to open the door and kick the door, making a dent. Ms. Atkinson said she was driving slowly and Mr. Ashford jumped on the hood of her vehicle. She stepped on the brakes and Mr. Ashford fell dramatically on the roadway. Ms. Atkinson said she called the defendant, the co-defendant, Mr. Ashford's mother, so she would help get him off the street. Ms. Atkinson said the co-defendant, Kay Ashford, rushed down the street, asked her son what happened, and then attacked the victim by striking her with a closed fist, causing bruises to her knees and elbows. Defendant Corey Griggs, the father of Mr. Ashford, rushed down to the fight and slapped the victim twice in her face. The witness, Eddie Hall, saw the incident and provided video to the officer. The defendant and his co-defendants were arrested. All these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, we were able to get in touch with the victim. She stated she was arguing with the mother. She said with defendant's son, when the defendant came out and attacked her, causing a knot on her head and bruising to her knee. So she was arguing with Miss Ashford. And a victim stated defendant's father also got involved and slapped her in her face, which is Mr. Griggs. The victim stated this is the first time they have assaulted her. The victim stated she wants no contact with both parties. And so for this reason, Your Honor, we do feel, given the nature of the facts that I've provided to you of this case, the fact that the defendant has 9 cycles, he poses a risk of reoffending while he's out on bond. We're asking for that $4,000 surety bond and for this defendant to have no contact with the victim. Nothing further.
All right, that's a lot, Ms. Tortorella. So Mr. Griggs and is it Miss Ashford are father and daughter?
Yeah, so it's the father, the mother, and the son who are all arrested. The son's case.
Who is the mother?
Khalif
Ashford. Ashford.
Okay, so Khalif Ashford's the mother.
Kafil Ashford, yes.
Okay, and who's the daughter?
There's no not a daughter, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Griggs, and his wife, apparently their son was run over, so they went to investigate, and this is where all of this allegedly happened.
So Brandon Ashford is the victim's baby's father.
Was he arrested?
He was arrested also, Your Honor.
Okay, is he on his calendar today?
No, Your Honor, he was arrested for felony criminal damage, secondary.
Okay. So he and Miss Etchison are in a relation, or
that is correct, Your Honor. They have a child together.
Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Mathad. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to put it all together.
Yes, Your Honor. I also represent Miss Ashford. I just wanted to let you know because their interests are the same. They're husband and wife.
Okay, so you're representing Mr. Griggs and Ms. Okay, all right.
That is correct, Your Honor. So I can speak for what happened with both of them. they had the baby for the weekend because their son lives with them, and it is their grandchild. And apparently, their son had called them to say that the alleged victim had run over him with her car. So they ran outside to see what was happening. And when they got out there, their son was on the ground and was obviously injured. So, I guess they were wondering what had happened, and they got into an argument with the alleged victim. She became combative, and in the process of them having this argument and a tussle, she was hit and she hit them back too. It wasn't just that they were striking her and she did nothing. But essentially, they were just defending their son because they were pretty upset about it. Mrs. Ashford tells me that her son was out. He was actually unconscious at a point in the whole thing. So that was essentially what went on. It was this issue between their son and the alleged victim, and they were just there intervening because she had run over their son and they were concerned. They wanted to get him to the hospital.
Okay, and is this Miss Ashford at the South Annex? Okay, let me just, as you were suggesting, Ms. Tortorella, go ahead and, since I've heard the facts on this, Miss Ashford, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and you've been charged in case 22 CR 003924J with battery, which I just heard the facts of. Mr. Howard, is there a history for Miss Ashford?
The third arrest. Last was 2014, terrorist threats, felony, disorderly conduct, cruelty to children, 3rd degree. She got PTI for that. And a sale of marijuana that was dead docket from 05.
And it's my understanding that they're both recommended through pretrial.
Your Honor, just to add, this defendant
I want an answer to my question first, Ms. Tortorella, just a moment.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can go ahead, Ms. Tortorella.
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to add something important. This defendant, Miss Ashford, has been approved for MH court. And I've actually chatted Attorney McLeod to see if her client would be interested in MH court. We did contact the victim and she is okay with her getting into MH court. So I don't know how this would affect your ruling, Your Honor, but I do want to put that out there, and I don't know if this would be a reset or what would happen at this point. Or she would be bond, but.
Can I ask a question, please?
Ms. Ashford, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I suggest that if you do have a question that you let Ms. McLeod, you speak with her at some point to get that resolved.
I was just wondering what is MH court?
MH refers to mental health. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. I was about to say that my client, Miss Ashford, is gainfully employed, Your Honor. As the court has seen, there is no significant history there or any recent history. She works as a pharmacy manager, she tells me. She is 38 years old, Your Honor, and her son is her only child.
Okay.
And she tells me she was pretty concerned about what had happened to him.
All right. Anything further from counsel?
Just to put on record, Your Honor, we are recommending a $4,000 surety bond for Ms. Ashford as well, with the same conditions as for Mr. Griggs. No contact with the victim, 1-day anger management, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Again, this defendant has been approved and evaluated. Her case has been evaluated and it's been approved for MH court. Nothing further.
Okay. And even so, even with that recommendation, Ms. McLeod, I haven't heard you speak to the MH court recommendation.
Well, Your Honor, if it means that my client has to stay in jail for longer, that might be an issue because she tells me that she does have a job which she has to return to. I'm just hearing about this MH court now. Didn't hear about it earlier.
Okay.
So this is new to me. I didn't have an opportunity to discuss it with my client or anything.
Okay. As such, I've not, aside from what Ms. Tortorella just said, heard anything regarding mental health. Normally, we go into a closed session if that were the case prior to having a hearing. So in this case, we're both Ms. Ashford, position 2, and Mr. Griggs, position 11. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And at this point in time, no further contact with Ms. Etchison. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Ashford, and good luck to you, Mr. Griggs.
Thank you. I appreciate
Judge, I do have a couple of quick announcements.
Okay.
I do have quite a few medical resets.
Okay.
Position 1, medical reset.
So tomorrow, 6/22.
Is due to quarantine, so I'm not sure how long it's gonna be.
Okay, we'll just put him on tomorrow's calendar, and if he's available, then he is.
Also, position 12, medical reset. Position 14, medical reset. Position 16 is a medical reset. 17, 19, and 20, they're the same person, Mr. Ward. And that's it, Judge.
And that's the entire calendar, right? Oh, well,
No,
we do
Your
have,
Honor, don't forget South Annex, Your Honor.
okay, I won't forget you. Okay, that's all for courtroom 2, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you,
All
Judge.
right, all right. Well, we'll see you next time. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And is this Ms. Williams?
Yes, Your Honor, position 22.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003942A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The 10th arrest. I got a 2015 probation violation for no license, suspended license. 2015 suspended license. 2014 criminal damage to property, it was dismissed. 2013 FTA for no license, suspended license. 2012 FTA, same thing. And she had an arrest out of South Carolina. That was 2012 driving without a valid license. That's it.
Okay, Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on June 19, 2022 at 3029 Dobbs Highway, apartment 8. The victim in this case is Kenneth Weasley or Wesley. That's Kenneth Kenneth, Wesley, Wesley, who is the other person living in the same household as the defendant in this case. Your Honor, on this incident date, officers responded to a dispute call, and they know in the warrant that the victim indicated to officers that Ms. Williams did in fact scratch him with her fingers, leaving visible markings on his neck, traveling down substantially towards his shoulders. In this case, we're concerned about the risk of reoffense because the parties do live together. We're additionally concerned about the intimidation of this witness, given to the fact that they are or were in a relationship. We're also concerned about flight risk because this defendant does have some FTAs in her history. For these reasons, the state is going to request a $3,000 surety bond due to the violent nature of the offense and the Ayala factors alleged. We're going to ask for no further contact with the victim in this case, or stay away from the incident location. Our victim advocate was not able to make contact with the victim in this case, and out of an abundance of caution for his safety, we're going to request a stay away, being that this incident is relatively recent. No alcohol, drugs, and weapons, 1-day anger awareness, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 38 years old, Your Honor. She has been in the Atlanta area for the past 13 years. The court will note that although there have been several arrests, they were all essentially traffic related, and most of them were actually dismissed. Something was said about one, I think it was disorderly conduct or something similar, but that was dead docketed or dismissed. So she has no significant criminal history, Your Honor. And she is gainfully employed. She's not a flight risk. And she tells me that Mr. Wesley was in fact the aggressor, and she was simply defending herself. She does tell me, however, that this is not a usual pattern between them. They were just having an argument and it got a little out of hand. And given the fact that they have been in a relationship for some time, that probably is true, Your Honor. So I would ask the court to consider giving her a signature bond, because I do believe that she's a good candidate for that based on her history, which is essentially just traffic related.
I don't disagree with you, Ms. McLeod. What I'm more concerned about is that no one has spoken with Mr. Wesley that I know of. And as such, until someone speaks with him, it'll have to be a no further contact.
I understand, Your Honor. He was arrested as well.
Oh, okay. All right. And he was arrested on this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And was he on the calendar today?
I don't have any
I think he might have went to
information
felony. What's his name?
Kenneth Wesley.
Kenneth Wesley.
Hold on, real quick.
Okay. I'm just trying to decide whether or not who's going to get back into the household.
He was on the calendar on June 20, 2022, Your Honor.
It's yesterday.
He was on yesterday's calendar?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you have what I did, Ms. Kim? Was he on the misdemeanor calendar?
Yes, Your Honor. However, I don't have the disposition because I don't work on Monday.
One moment, Your Honor. I may have it if you give me just a second.
Okay. Let me check my notes also.
Because I did work yesterday. Let me see. Okay, Your Honor, you gave him a $2,000 signature bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. But in that case, it was a different victim, so it wasn't in relation to this case. And
Right.
it was related to another incident location.
All right, so you're right. It was a criminal damage, for Mr. Wesley on yesterday's calendar. So let's see. As far as Ms. Williams goes, today is going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Wesley. I'm not going to issue a stay away from her home at this point in time, but given that there's a no further contact, that one of them will not be able to be in that household. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, since there is, they both received signature bonds, they're both presumably going to be out of jail soon.
Well, it's my understanding that he has some other charges that have to do with this case.
It wasn't on the calendar today. It may show up tomorrow. All I saw was the criminal trespass from yesterday's calendar.
Mr. Howard, are you back with us?
Yes.
Were you checking to see whether those charges were felony charges or misdemeanor charges?
I didn't. Well, when I came back, y'all was talking about his charges. So he went to court yesterday, right?
Well, he went for a criminal damage yesterday.
With a different person, victim, alleged victim.
What's his booking number? Anybody know it?
I have a case number 22 CR 003906E. If that helps.
Fast, Cam.
That is the criminal trespass case number.
22 CR what?
003906E.
He's already released.
Okay, thank you.
So being that he's released, Your Honor, we would ask the court to make a determination as to who can return, if this defendant can return, being that our victim has been released from jail and will likely be returning to this incident location as they do live together. And we
Your
haven't
Honor,
been able to make contact.
my client has told me that, it's not a pattern between them, that this was not the usual for them. It was aberrant, so to speak, and she's not afraid of him. She's expressed that to me. I just wanted the court to know that.
Okay, well, I'm going to allow her to go back into the household, but there's to be no further contact still with Mr. Wesley.
Violent contact, Your Honor?
No, no further contact, and at this point in time, until, again, I've not heard regarding, Mr. Wesley's desire, so there'll be no further contact at this point in time, and Ms. Williams will be allowed to go back into the household.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Williams. Okay.
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Officer Milton. I appreciate it.
Okay, Your Honor, I want to apologize for yelling earlier, but I had a commotion here and I apologize for yelling.
Well, that's very kind. You don't have to apologize. I understand that you all have a difficult job to do, so we're just happy that you're safe.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye.
You do the same. Okay, Ms. Bridgewater, when you're ready, and would you also announce the reset date for everyone, please?
Absolutely. The reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be July the 5th. Position number 1 is reset, medical reset till tomorrow. Position number 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. Position 4, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is going to the SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. Position 6, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 7, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 8, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 9 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 total good bond. Position 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 11 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 12 is a medical reset till tomorrow. Position 13 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 14 is a medical reset till tomorrow. Position 15 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 16 is reset till tomorrow. Position 17 is reset till tomorrow. Position 18 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 19 is being reset till tomorrow, along with position number 20. 21 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 total good bond. And position 22 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, corrections, or otherwise?
Okay, if not, we'll see you all next time. Have a good evening. Be safe.
Okay.
You too, Judge.
Thank you. And I'll wait for those orders, Ms. Bridgewater.
Yes, gotcha, Judge.
Thank you.